What if I told you that self-criticism isn't actually making you stronger? It's quietly draining your energy and confidence every single day. Most of us believe that beating ourselves up will push us to grow. But here's the truth. Self-criticism and self-blame are some of the biggest roadblocks to real personal growth. And today, I want to show you how to transform that inner attack into self-reflection that actually builds emotional intelligence and resilience. Think about the last time you made a mistake. Maybe you said the wrong thing to a friend, or missed a deadline, or lost control of your emotions. What was your first reaction? If you're like most conscious growth seekers, you probably heard that voice saying something like, "What's wrong with me?" Or, "I always screw things up." That is self-criticism in action. And while it might feel like taking personal responsibility, it's actually a mental loop that keeps you stuck. Here's why it's so harmful. Constant self-blame triggers shame, which shuts down the part of your brain responsible for problem solving and emotional regulation. It makes it harder to think clearly, harder to see solutions, and harder to grow. That's why we need to replace self-criticism with healthy reflection. And it's not as hard as it sounds. Step one is mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means noticing what is happening in the present moment without judgment. When that self-critical thought shows up, try just naming it. Say to yourself, "This is a self-criticism thought." This is called non-judgmental awareness. It takes you out of autopilot and gives you a tiny pause to choose a different response. Step two is self-compassion. This isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about treating yourself the way you would treat a friend. If a friend made the same mistake, would you call them a failure, or would you offer some support and help them reflect? Practicing self-compassion builds psychological flexibility, the ability to adapt and respond skillfully even in difficult moments. Step three is journaling techniques. Writing things down is one of the fastest ways to shift from emotional reactivity to healthy reflection. Try writing what happened, what you felt, and what you learned. Then ask yourself, what would I do differently next time? This simple practice changes cognitive distortions, those exaggerated, all or nothing thoughts, into constructive plans for growth. Step four is reframing belief systems. Many people have been taught since childhood that being hard on yourself is the only way to improve. But positive thinking and belief change are much more effective. When you reframe mistakes as feedback, you open the door to personal growth and better emotional processing. I know it takes practice. At first, it might feel uncomfortable or even fake to stop blaming yourself. But every time you practice, you rewire your brain for emotional intelligence and self-acceptance. You start to feel less stuck and more in control of your life. Imagine how your relationships might change if you stopped snapping at yourself and started approaching challenges with curiosity instead of shame. Imagine how much energy you'd save if you weren't fighting with yourself all day. This is what healthy self-support looks like. Not perfection, but progress. So next time you catch that inner critic, pause, breathe, reflect instead of attack. That's how you build the kind of mindset that actually moves you forward. And if this resonates, share it with a friend who could use a little more self-compassion too. Watch our other videos about inner critics.